Welcome to the Moon God Pod. I'm your host, JwowLax, and with me always is my big man, JwowLax. Today we have Amb1s with a bunch of numbers after his name if you're looking him up in the Discord or on Twitter. But for the purposes of the Moon God Pod, we're going to refer to him as Amb1s or whatever comes out of my mouth. Want to say welcome. Once again, we are getting this train rolling slowly, but we're going to be picking up steam. I am a moon god and a mega moon god Akutar holder, as is JwowLax, as is Amb1s, and that is what this podcast is all about. So if you love NFTs, you love Aku especially, we're profiling all the members, and we're going to bring you much more content as we start rolling it out. Just want to say, good morning and welcome. JwowLax, Amb1s, how are we doing today?
I'm doing great. I haven't set my lineup yet, but I'm a chaos person. I don't know what I'm doing half the times. I think that I'm picking great teams, and then at the end of the day, I'm like bottom half, middle half, but still fun. So feeling good, feeling confident like every week, and I'm really excited for football.
So my lineups are in for the uninitiated. Last week I had a second place finish, so I have a first place and a second place. So I'm very confident this week. So not only do I anticipate winning the Aku DFS, I also will win the $1 million in the DraftKings submission. So I'm ready to go. Thank you for the introduction. And Amb1s, thank you for joining us this morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for having me. I wish I would have been on earlier, but had a couple things to deal with over here.
Trust me, out of the 500 or more possible Moon God episodes, you're in the top 10. I can guarantee you that, sir.
Excited. I was pleasantly surprised when Aramuno nominated me, and he actually pinged me right after. I was like, "What?" I was like, "You guys want me of all people to talk?"
Well, so let me touch on for like any of the uninitiated. So it is a Sunday morning that we're recording this. This won't broadcast or air on a Sunday because we release every Monday and Thursday. But the Aku community created by Michael Johnson, if you own an Akutar as of right now, and now I guess we have about 11, 12 weeks of the season, you can register. Just go to the Discord and someone will direct you on exactly how to do it. But you can register for what's basically a free roll. So if you have an Akutar, there are 5 leagues. We have 5 teams. So it's basically like, scratching a lottery ticket every week for 10, 11 weeks for $500. And, we have JwowLax, who is the, self-proclaimed, stud, wanting all the smoke in the DFF. There's a lot of competition. Shintao is renowned in the world. We have an episode with him where he talks a lot about that. And then you've got guys like me and Amb1s that are just out there. And, I don't recognize half of the guys' names, but I'm like, oh, Tom Brady. I remember him. He's good. I'm still trying to draft Brett Favre, but I remiss. So that's something that's cool that's going on with Aku that certainly you can join. Just always want to remind people that we're trying to generate content to profile this amazing community, which is Aku. So like, comment, subscribe, wherever you're listening to this, whether it's on Spotify podcast or YouTube, and certainly leave some comments. We want to ask questions so that our viewers can learn more about this amazing community. And with that segue, I want to ask you, Amb1s, like, what onboarded you? What is your introduction to Aku, and when was like the first time you bought, whether it be a chapter or an Akutar?
So I got into NFTs in general in November of last year. So pretty late in the game. I completely ignored anything NFT related at the beginning, similar to how I ignored crypto at the beginning. I heard about the Doge, heard about the Bitcoin, Ethereum, all that jazz, and I just didn't understand it. I still don't. And I just saw a lot of people making a lot of money. And my brother-in-law, Jumper, got me into NFTs. He was just showing me pictures. Oh, you know, get this. I don't know if it was a doodle at the time or if it was a cool cat. He's like, he told me to get into something. I didn't. 3 months later, it had like 10x. And I was in my feelings. I was upset. I was like, oh, I could have done this. I could have done that. And I didn't. And then I was like, you know what? Next time, I was like, for sure, next time there's an opportunity, I'm going to get in. And I think my first purchase was like a doodle. Bought it for like 7,000, jumped to 18,000. I was living life. I was like, I'm going to make it. I'm going to start buying some stuff. Then I got a second doodle at 11,000, and then everything went down to like 11, 12,000. I sold them both, and then it shot up to like 80. So I was like, oh my God. I was like, this is just like another one of my failed attempts to do something in life. But no, he told me about Mike, I think around chapter 5. He was just telling me, oh, if you get, he's in this, he has a couple chapters. If we have like chapter 5 and 6 and 7, we get like a free chapter 8. But also if we have a 4 involved, we get 2 free chapter 8. So I was like, okay, an opportunity to, to get in there, maybe make some money with it, the extra chapter 8, sell that, flip it. So I just got in like that, bought a couple chapters, didn't really understand. I started seeing the previous chapters and started seeing the prices. Mm-hmm. I never thought I was going to be a moon god, let alone a moon god to the second power. But here I am, and I'm very excited. And now I understand what all the hype is all about.
When did you buy your first chapter 3?
Oh man, I would say December or January. Okay. It was up there. It was up there. It wasn't all the way up there, but it was substantially up there.
Did you go to Miami last year?
I did not. Since I got into NFTs in November, I didn't have any connections with anybody. I had just learned about Discord, just started chatting with people. I wasn't really mingling or putting myself out there. So to take a trip to Miami just didn't seem worth it for me. I felt like I would have just been tagging around, my brother-in-law's coattail and then just following him around. And I kind of didn't want that. So I missed it, and I feel really bad about it because when I see the videos and the images and I hear everybody talking about it, I feel like I kind of missed out on something big. But that just makes this coming Art Basel even more important. Like now I have the connections. Now I have this community. I have all the moon gods to just introduce myself to, in person as opposed to just little text messages here and there. So I'm really pumped for this.
Amb1s, you said that you got started in November of last year. Mm-hmm. I guess one thing I would like you to speak on, which kind of speaks to people who maybe don't know who Aku is, how hard is it to go from I don't know anything about crypto to owning NFTs to avoiding scams? Like in your mind, how does that process go?
Oh, it's really hard. I think right at the beginning when I first joined a Discord chat, I got a DM right away. And it was like the collab land, asking me to verify. And I almost did it. I was like, okay, I guess I got to verify so they know that I actually own this NFT. And I almost went through the whole process, but then I saw that it wanted some gas fees or it asked me to confirm something or whatever. And I quickly hit up my brother-in-law and I was like, what's going on here? Is this real? He's like, of course not. So I guess he knew about, these types of scams in the past. So he was aware of this, but for somebody new, I had no idea how quickly these scammers can act. So yeah, and it's it's a scary thing where you can have your whole wallet drained. So you have to put a little thought and effort into reading up on security. But yeah.
You've obviously seen like the ups and downs, the swings, like you said with the doodle, which I do want to remind you that if I did my math right, if you bought one at 7 and then you bought one at 11, that put you in at 18. But if you sold both of them for what, like 22, like yeah, you still made a pretty good profit. And
I did. I was excited that I made some money, and then I was really down in the dumps when I saw that thing doodle goes to like 50, 60, 70 K floor, something like that. So, that's, that left a little hole. It still hurts a little bit, but, yeah.
I remember. It's funny because like I think we're still all very early. However, um, that month or two that someone is ahead of you, like, makes so much difference. And then just being able to kind of decide, and like, I remember the day that Bored Apes was minting, and people were just tweeting like, "Man, I guess I'm going to go buy 5 or 10 more of these." Like, there were some really big 8 bags, and I don't know that I would have ever made it to the heights that they made. If I had minted, 10 or 20 of them. I first of all, I probably wouldn't. I probably only would have minted a couple of them, and truth be told, it's like by the time it got to like 10,000, I would have probably been so out of there. So it's kind of hard. You mentioned a word that's really resonates in this community, and that's FOMO. So was there a little bit of kind of lessons learned that made you go for 2 Moon God sets as opposed to just one?
Yeah. So FOMO is definitely real. I'll tell you right now, I'm just seeing people post and just seeing some of these NFTs go for ridiculous amounts of money. Just makes anybody want to, put their hat in the game, put their name in the ring. So, I felt like I've fallen for FOMO in many other projects as well. For Aqua, honestly, once I started really being involved in the community and just seeing the team and just seeing how Micah and the whole squad, just how they work, the work ethic, how involved they get all the other Moon Gods, and I know the glitch is gonna kill me if I say anything that I shouldn't be, from the Moon God channel, so I can feel that coming. But Micah really values opinions, and he's in the Moon God channel all the time, asking us what we think about certain things. And I think that holds a lot of weight. Like, we have some say in where things go. Maybe not a lot of say, but he really does take into account all of our opinions. Honestly, the only reason why I went for the second Moon God set was because I got lucky on a WEEF offer or a bid on Nifty Gateway. At the time, I think it was like 18,000, which I'll tell you right now, in November, I would have never thought that I would have paid that much money for anything, let alone a little NFT. But again, I rode. I came in right when the roller coaster was going up, so I was seeing my NFTs, increasing in value, which gave me a little bit more confidence. So I was able to put those types of offers out there. And I woke up in the morning the next day, and everybody was congratulating me. Congrats on the snipe, amazing job. And I was like, what are you guys talking about? Then I saw I had a second chapter 3 in my little portfolio. And I was like, okay, I'm definitely going for my second Moon God set. There's nothing holding me back besides the bottleneck, in which I just got.
Right.
And my whole thought process was, okay, I'm going to keep one and I'm going to sell the other one. I would get my money back. I would cover a lot of my cost basis. I just couldn't sell anything. I could not sell anything. I saw chapter 3 is going for $80-something thousand right before Dutch auction, and I just held it. I was like, no. I was like, I'm not selling this. This ain't going nowhere. So I think that's the reason why I went for the second move. I said, I saw everything going up. I saw the team. I feel really confident about where this is going. I did back then. I still do today, and I just got lucky on that offer. I got it at a low price at the time, and here I am, Moon God times 2.
There's an element of gamble in this community that really perpetuates a lot of projects, but we joke about like the Degans. So I come from the poker world, as does JwowLax. I hear that in you. Like, is there some gamble in you before you came to NFTs? And was this kind of like for me, I sometimes think it's I'm not a big gambler. Like, I'm one of those that say poker is not gambling, it's skill. And I do believe that. I also believe that there is some skill in NFTs and what you buy. Um, However, I do think that you have to have some gambling in you. And like you said about purchasing or getting chapter 3 for a steal at $18,000, like I struggle so hard to buy a pair of sneakers for like 125 bucks that I really want. And I've had, I've been on the phone, with something that's minting or some kind of drop or whatever, and spent large sums of money in just like an instant, like with very little information and just like a gut reaction. That what is it about that space? So actually, let me back that up. Where does that come from within you? Like, is there a correlation there? And what makes that such a different thing? Like, I'm not going out and buying a $20,000 car, on a Sunday just because like I see it. But boy, when it comes to NFTs, that happens.
No, I agree. I can't for the life of me spend $500 on a nice pair of shoes, or $200 on a pair of jeans. I'm not that type of person. Do I have a little bit of gambling in my blood? Yeah, I think I inherited that from my grandfather. I used to play poker too back in college. I think Full Tilt Poker back in the day, all those other sites where they used to give you bonuses for signing up and putting money in. So I was one of those, and I have some friends that actually played in the World Series of Poker, and actually won a couple of tournaments and made it to like the final table in the main event. His name is Havad Khan. I think they call him Rain Khan.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually he flew me out there to watch the World Series of Poker. So I had a nice little taste of that. But no, I have it. Unfortunately, I have a little gambling spirit in me. I like the rush of possibly winning. It makes things exciting. I would, just this past Thursday, we had awful football teams playing, and I was gambling on it. I was like, the under, prop bets on players. It just gives the game more excitement. Like, nobody else would have found that game exciting if you didn't have something to root for. And by the way, that $18,000 chapter 3 that I got was still cheaper than the first one that I bought. So I felt like I had a steal. I felt like I was winning there. I was like, my cost basis is down now. I was like, I'm doing good here. But no, look, man, I even bought some mint passes right before Dutch auction. And, mind you, I had already tons because I had 2 Moon God sets, but I still felt that it was going to keep going up. I was telling everybody, people were telling me, sell, you have all this money. And I was contemplating retirement at one point. I was like, this is it. I was like, I'm going to retire off of little digital pictures and videos. And I was already thinking how I was going to tell my boss that I was just done with corporate America. And then I had that rude awakening, but I was still buying mint passes a couple of days before. Mm-hmm. But I still think that, and at the time I was thinking we were going to be the next Doodle. We were going to be the next Suzuki. We were going to be the next, I don't know what was out there at the time. It was Moonbird or whatever. I was like, I really felt that our floor was going to be 15, 20 ETH, easy. And we were trending that way. Like, everything was trending that way until whatever happened. And now, we came into the crypto winter. We came into the recession. There's oil, there's war, there's everything going on, and it's the perfect storm of what could have gone wrong. Mm-hmm. So, nothing that the team is doing wrong. It's just, nobody can predict everything, any of this actually.
Ambs, you remind me of a hustler after my own heart. So everything you say, like, I'm tearing up and it resonates with me on a whole nother level. So I think we're very similar in the way that we kind of approach different things. I know that you're a 2X Moon God, and I know that you have an illustrious collection of Akutar. So if you had to choose, are you more of a chapter guy or are you more of an Akutar guy? Where's your passion lie?
I think honestly right now is the Akutars. I felt, I've been putting a lot more effort into, fixing up my portfolio. And I got some good advice from a couple of the Moon Gods. I had some regular Akutars that I was interchanging for some nicer ones. I was aiming for partner traits. With the chapters, I love them. This is what gave us all this amazing, Akutars, it's what made us the moon gods, and Akutars cannot make us moon gods. So, I know that they hold all that weight, but I feel like right now, I'm just more of an Akutar guy,
I think
especially
that
seeing all this little video. I think, was it Dirk at work? They just put like a nice little 20-second video of
yeah.
Aku touching the leaves and the leaves changing. I was amazed by that. It was just like a 20-second clip, and I was like, "This is what I'm talking about." Like, I cannot wait for like a 3-minute clip, a 2-minute clip, and just this, and just something I can show my son, and just kind of see out there on YouTube, and just having people witnesses and just ask questions. What is this? I know the eyeballs are going to come in at some point. I just can't wait for when it does.
You kind of hit on my next question when you say, what is this? One thing that I asked all our guests, and I have trouble kind of defining it myself, but when you have people come on and they say, wow, those pictures, hashtag pictures are pretty cool. What is this? What is Aku? How do you answer that question?
Well, like Glitch says, and like I think H-Man said before, this is just more than just an NFT project. This is a movement. This is, us building something bigger than just the NFT space, bigger than, making some money flipping picture. This is about really, having something to show our kids and just everybody, that people can do anything. I'm Dominican. I grew up in Washington Heights, back in the 80s. So a lot of us were never going to make it, right? That's what a lot of my my family members said. They can't believe that I was able to come out of Washington Heights and be the man that I am, the person that I am. Be able to to have the life that I have. And mind you, it's not like a crazy life. I'm just middle class, I guess. But that's a big accomplishment. And I feel like a lot of people get written off or just think that because they're of a certain skin color, because they're a certain nationality, that they're always going to be 10 steps behind, and they're never going to get to where their peers are. And I think we need to change that mindset, and we need to let everybody know that we work ethic, we work ethic, with your drive, like you can accomplish anything. And I think that's the whole story about Aku. It's just about Micah created this character off of his, I think, nephew, asking if Black kids can be astronaut, or just yeah, and he started just drawing from there, and it just opened up this idea. And right now we got Aku in D23 Disney, just kind of be there like an IP that doesn't belong to Disney, and it's just amazing. Like, think about what this could be for everybody, not just for us NFT connoisseurs. It's just about what the meaning of all of this, especially after everything that happened a couple of years ago with Floyd and everybody else. And I hope I'm not missing Breonna Taylor. Is that I may not be saying it right? There's just so many. Like the list goes on and on. And it's just good to just see like some movement in the right direction, not just about making money, not just about cash grabbing, just about having a real message that you can share with the world that's going to impact the youth and everybody around it.
You brought up something interesting, because you said in the very beginning, like, when you kind of got onboarded into NFTs in general, it was to make money.
Yeah.
And everything that you just said had very little to do why you stick around to the Aku world, that has anything to do with money. And what's worse is it's almost kind of like counterproductive, because now it's so hard to get rid of anything and sell. What did you see that kind of started creating this conviction on more of like I want to say like on a non-financial level? What was there some moment or something in particular that you were like, oh man, like this is something different, as opposed to just like trying to create financial gains?
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if there was a specific moment. I think it was just being involved in the community, in the Discord, seeing how Micah and the team, how they grind, how they act, how the calls went. Nothing ever seemed like it was just a business about numbers with them. And it seemed like their literally only goal is to kind of grow this community, bring the message of Aku out there, and build the right way. And I'm still, don't get me wrong, I would love to make money off of my NFTs. Can't right now because the market, but I've literally narrowed down my Discord to probably like 3 channels, and I spend 90% of my time in the Aku Discord because that's the only one that I really resonate with and the only one that I really take serious. The other ones, I'm ready to get out. I've sold my mutant. Nothing against mutants. I love them. They give me ApeCoin. They give me, what is other side, whatever it was. Cost a lot in gas fees to get it, but they gave me that. Nothing against them, but honestly, you got to back the horse that you think is going to take you the furthest, and not for financial reasons, just because you think that they really have something substantial that they're building. And we're very early. I know it's been, I don't know, since April, since Akutars came out, so it feels like forever. Especially in the NFT space, people want things now, and trust me, I would love things to happen now, but we have so many partnerships. We're building so much. Like, I feel like Micah doesn't get off of a jet for more than like 10 hours before he gets back on another one to do something else. And I'm just trying to be supportive, trying to go along for the ride. I'll still sell all my other stuff. I have no problem moving that, but I'm just building my Akatar collection because I can see where it's going. I think I bought one today, to be honest. I got one today off of like Nifty Gateway. Just put an offer in there, and it hit. I woke up and I was like, "Yay!"
Cool. Did you? So you had said something about retirement from Akutars, and in all honesty, especially in what I'll refer to as like mint pass season, in the prices like as high as they got, I don't know what you call what happened on mint day, but like Black Friday, if you will. Like, I was literally looking, and I was in my head, it was like, this is once the reveal comes and we see like this art and everything, it's gonna 2-3x. Like, and to go back to poker terms, I was like, the only way that this doesn't happen that weekend is if like we hit a 2-outer on the river and get a bad beat, and boy did we get it. It was more like a 1-outer on the river. It's like there's one card that can beat us and it hit. With that said, I was 100% sitting there planning not my retirement, but I was like, this is kind of what I've been waiting for. Like I've been building towards, and now like it's just kind of like a pause button. Is there a realistic thought that like the being a part of Aku and your holdings, that it will lead you to a retirement?
I'm pretty confident. I wouldn't say 100% because nothing is 100%. Like you said, with the poker term, that a 2-outer or 1-outer, it does happen. And I've been there many times in the poker table where that does happen. I know what Micah and the team are building. Not that I'm in the meeting rooms hearing it, but I can just see the partnerships and what they're trying to accomplish. They're not just trying to move floors. They don't talk about floors. They're literally trying to grow the IP. They're literally trying to, take out the message. They're making real substantial partnerships, collabs with teams and with brands. And we just have to be patient to see it all unfold. Do I think that my 30-something, 37, 38 Akutars and my 2 Moon God chapters and extra other chapters are going to give me a window to have more financial flexibility? I do think so. I think that they've shown us that the potential. We had it kind of like around April. We had it. If you would have sold everything in April, you would have had quite a bit of money, all thanks to being a chapter holder, being a Moon God holder, supporting, believing in the team. They pretty much airdropped all these Akutars to you. Some were going for $17,000 each. Moon Gods were going for 20 something, 50. I forgot what it was. The numbers are so high, I don't want to cry and think about it again. But they were going for quite a lot of money, and they were just airdropped, to us. So the potential is there. It's just that we're in a bad economic time. The worst things that could have happened. That contract stuff, I was with you. I was already, as you said, making plans mentally. I was already thinking, am I paying off the house? Am I buying a new car? How am I going to write this letter? And then everything just, unfortunately, with the whole little contract issue, that kind of soured things up for a lot of people, because a lot of people just came in to make gains, not really getting involved into the community or the Discord, and just saw the little graph going up, and they're like, oh, let's catch this, let's keep going up. And they didn't take the time to kind of really sit down and just say, hey, okay, this is what's gonna happen. It's gonna work out at the end. But man, I'll tell you right now, it was tough hearing the AMA or the Discord chat once it happened, and just hearing Micah and the team, how hurt they were about what happened. Not because financial reasons, like they, burned $34 million of their proceeds, but just more because of what it could have meant for all of us. He felt like he kind of let us down. And I think he even mentioned that verbatim, I feel like I let you guys down. I was doing this for you guys. He was never talking about himself. He was only talking about, his disappointment in disappointing us. And that just showed you, man, this guy really believes in this. He's really trying to look out for all of us. It's not just a gimmick. It's not just to get our cash. He had the cash. Yeah, I think he was still giving refunds out, for people who were chapter holders and bought X amount. I think they were still shipping out ETH refunds if you bought so many. And we were saying, we don't want it. You guys can keep it. He's like, no, it's not my place to ask for it. I asked many times, where can we send you the rebate or the discount that you guys were offering us? We don't want it. How can we give it back? Mum was the word. They didn't care about any of that. And I'll tell you right now, I'm 1,000% sure if Mike and the team still had that 34 million, things would have been moving a little bit quicker, obviously, because you have the bankroll to move a little quicker, but the floor would have never gotten this low. Micah would have never allowed the floor to get as low, because he would have owned probably 2,000 of these Aquatars. Because he's always swept his own floors. He's always believed in his own project and bought his own stuff. I don't think he ever would have thought that it would have gone this low. He would have been gobbling these things up happily.
Yeah, Ambs, I appreciate you bringing this subject up, because me and JWoww, we talk about this not as much recently, but obviously it's one of the, it's the thing that happened with us, So one thing I say, in the moment, yeah, it stings, right? You look at the trajectory and where we're going and what those mint passes we're going for, but I would argue that, kind of looking back at it now, I think we may be in a more healthy place, because we don't have outside expectation anymore. We don't have people that aren't a part of the community demanding things and speeding up timelines. So as a builder, which I think Micah is, and what Summer is doing as well, I just really feel like they can grind and really put the work in and do all that needs to be done to make this, a long-term kind of thing. So I'm happy about that. But trying to kind of changing gears, I love your collecting philosophy with Aquatars. I see the Mirage, or the collage you have in the background there. I see the partner trait. I see the partner traits. I see your Moon God. I see all of it. And what's funny is, so my style is, I'm very quiet, and I put offers in for multiple wallets. So I'm all over the place when it comes to seeking different Aquatars. So one day I'm on my computer and I'm like, you know what? This brown wizard hoodie. Let's take a look at this. Okay, it's brown, it's clean, it's got the stars on it. Let me put a bid out there. I see it's kind of been dead for a while. Let me throw a bid out there. So I put it out there, pretty confident. And the next day I look, it's sold for 0.02 ETH more than my bid was. And lo and behold, you stole it from me. Can you please talk about that?
Well, you're talking about this little guy right here, right?
Yeah, that one right there. Him, yes.
Amazing Aquatar. Amazing Aquatar. I had no idea that I was even going to remotely have a chance of getting it at the price that I got it. I just, I sat on the sidelines for quite some time after Dutch auction. I was in my feelings. I was financially thinking, man, I had just bought 3, 4, 5 more mint passes before, you know, Dutch auction. And I was like, I invested a lot more. And then when everything was going down, it was hard for me to kind of like say, okay, you know, let me try to buy more when it was going down. I was already financially very invested in Akutars. But honestly, I was feeling bad that everybody was getting these amazing deals. I saw Thax, I saw Darth Vader, I saw everybody picking up these amazing Akutars, partner trades, megas, chapter OGs for like little to nothing. And I couldn't do anything about it. I was so invested in it. So I got lucky, you know, I wouldn't say lucky, but I sold my mutant, and then I got lucky with selling a couple other NFTs before it went a lot lower. So I had some type of bullets in the chamber. You know, I had something to actually, you know, defend myself against you guys. They were taking care of, you know, taking everything off the table. So when I finally had some ETH and converted it to WETH, I was like, that's it. It's my turn now. You know, I don't know. I forgot the saying, but I think, you know, Warren Buffett always says, you know, be fearful when others are mindful, or be mindful when others are fearful. I forgot the saying. But the whole point is, when we're in a recession, that's when Warren Buffett is buying. When everything is going all the way down, when everybody's scared, that's when he's buying, and that's what's made him the most money, because he's able to get in at these prices, and then when things go back to normal, you know, he's able to reap all the benefits of that. So, you know, I had some ETH and converted to WETH, and I was just putting offers out there. That one was going for maybe like 5 ETH at the time, if it was even listed. I'm not sure if it was. So me putting a 1.5 whatever WETH offer on it was, you know, I was just putting it out there just to kind of be in the game. So when I got it, I was very shocked and surprised. And it's a very nice Akutar. And I feel like people right now can still get amazing deals, especially at these levels. You know, you put a little WETH offers out there, you're going to come up with amazing Akutars. Look at this Vandal trait back there. Look at this guy. This thing is amazing. You know, the Vandal, you know, plug is like one of the hardest ones to come out with. And I was able to get like 2 in like 24 hours. Pure luck, nothing to do with it. I just finally had some WETH available to be able to be in the game. So, and I think people started hating me for having ETH, because I was making offers on everything, and I was one-upping everybody, because it was my turn now. I watched for too long. I was on the bench for too long, and they finally put me in, so I had to make it count.
Is there a trait? Do you represent all traits in your collection, right? You have all the families now?
I do. I have all the families. Yeah, I have all the families, and I don't have all the traits. I'm still looking for a couple.
So this might end up being kind of a 2-part question, but what's your favorite family trait? And also, like, we had plane season, which is kind of cool. I'm very curious to know what will it mean to own like a Vandals, or like I'm wearing my Puma shirt today. What's the Puma connection going to be? So my question, you know, in essence is what's your favorite family, but also like, what would you like to see, and what do you think is like realistic that we will see? I mean, the Plains crown is pretty cool. I don't wear, you know, as cool as it is, I'm never going to wear a hat. I'm not a hat guy. I'm a beanie guy, you know. But like, what's something in that realm that you'd like to see?
Well, honestly, I just want some in real life access to things, to events. I know the Plains hat is great. You know, I can only have so many hats, so I hope that every other partner doesn't just say we're coming up with hats, because, you know, I only got one head. So, you know, honestly, I just feel like if they can come up with some in real life events that we can be invited to, that we can be a part of. You know, I know what is it, BBC and Ice Cream, they're owned by Pharrell. So if we can be in the building with Pharrell when he's showcasing whatever, maybe get a nice little discount on some of the you know, amazing merchandise that they have. Maybe also get, like, you know, a shirt, a hoodie, you know, something given to us. That'd be cool. But like, I kind of just want to like be involved, you know, see these people, be in the same room. So I think that's what I look forward to. And with Puma, maybe some cool sneakers with some Akus on there, like maybe some your partner trade Akutar on your kicks or on your shirt, done by them. That'll be kind of cool.
So what are you hunting right now? Like, is there anything in particular that, because you have a pretty, not just a big collection, but also an eclectic collection. I feel like you've kind of hit on everything. So what's the one or two traits or versions that not to give your game plan away, but what are you eyeballing?
Well, I ran out of ETH, so
Ah,
so unless I sell something, which I'm trying to, but unless I sell something, it'll be tough for me. So unless I get lucky on Nifty and put it on a card and then forget about it for a month. I do like the boxer. I don't have the Akutar with the nice little boxer robe on it. I think that one's pretty cool, especially with some of the dope backgrounds on there. Homemades are always amazing to me. I think I have 3 of them now, but I just think they just look so cool. The same with the octopus helmet. So definitely the boxer. I wouldn't mind another robe, like wizard robe. So I'm just gonna see what Love Ox is bidding on, and I'm just gonna one up him a little bit.
there it is. That's what I was getting at.
But no, I honestly I did take a big step in just upgrading my portfolio, and this is an advice I got from Darth Vader, in our Moon God. I always saw him buying Akutars, and he has an amazing collection, along with like so many other Moon Gods and so many other people. And I was just saying, I was like, I was showing him some Akutars that I was thinking about buying. He's like, if I was you, I would focus on partner traits. Then I would focus on completing your set of, your set of chapter OG. So you got chapter 1 through 10. And he was just giving me advice, and I really appreciated it. And I started saying, you know what, if I can trade a couple of these Akutars that have, let's say, the peaks on the face, and trade a couple of those for, let's say, a chapter OG, or if I get lucky with a partner trait, besides the fact that I'll have an amazing Akutar, but it's also going to give me the ability to get future airdrops, future nice little surprises. So I was just working on that, and this is just one of my little snags right here from just owning some Vandal Akutars, upscale and crypto block just hit me up.
You met them, right?
I met Block.
Okay.
I met Block. I didn't meet upscale. I think he's traveling the world, always following and working with Pusha, and he's out there in all the concerts, and he's in all these meetings, and so Block actually hit me up. He's like, if you're coming to New York, because I'm from New York, I just moved to Florida last year, and I used to see a lot of his clips that he was in areas 2 blocks away from my house, and I was like, I know that place. I lived right there. Yes. So we actually were talking for weeks. When are you coming? I want to hook you up with something. When we want to talk. And with everything going on, like my flight to New York got delayed. I was there for a wedding. So with the hurricane, I was just kind of like, just staying there an extra couple of days. And we just met up 2 blocks away from where I used to live. I had a nice little chat with Block. I was trying to get alpha. I'm not allowed,
Of course.
Glitch. Sorry. I was trying to get alpha. I was asking, when is Vandal season? When is Vandal season? Let me know right now while we're here. He did not give any of that information up, unfortunately. But no, it was kind of cool, to have a partner just kind of reach out to you, say, hey, look, I really appreciate the support. I want to hook you up. Let's meet up. Let's hang out. I think we were talking about catching a movie at one point. Our schedules just didn't work because there's only so much time, for a little quick trip that I can allocate to NFT stuff when my wife has plans to meet with friends, dinners, and everything. So I had a nice little small window, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to see upscale. But Block made up for it. And there's still more stuff coming on the way. He told me to hook him up with my address. Hopefully in the next couple of days or weeks, I'll have something cool to share and post about.
For sure. I love the accessories. I love the hat. I love everything you have going on.
Yeah, man, it's cool.
That's a dope hat. Now, the plug on it too, I'm a fan. Two and a half, 3 weeks ago, we got news that Mega OGs are going to have IP rights. So I'm currently in the lab, kind of currently working on a couple of things to see where they come out. From an IP perspective, do you plan to do something with your IP rights for your Mega? And if not, what would be something that would kind of catch your attention that the community can create for their moon gods?
Man, I wish I knew what to do with my IP rights. I'm not, as I told you, I just got into this November of last year. I'm probably like just the regular guy who got into NFTs, who then fell in love with the project, who's really supportive and is looking forward to bigger and better things. I had no other thoughts on my mind as to, oh, if I buy this Akutar, I'm gonna automatically just start putting it on, the front of my shirt and supporting my XYZ business. I wish I knew what to do as a business in general, so I could be self-employed and just do that. I don't know what to do, so I don't have any plans at the moment. I'm kind of, just sitting on the sideline trying to see what people do with their Mega OGs and trying to learn from there. And I hope that maybe in the future, Micah either creates a channel or maybe even allocates some funds to just teaching people how to use their IP a little bit, or giving them thoughts, or just holding little webinars or whatever, just to kind of like, for those that want to do something with their IPs and have some ideas, maybe they can help facilitate that and, kind of give their opinions and, give some guidance. Similar to kind of, I wouldn't say what Visa did for them or what it's doing for them, but just kind of like, be the support that a lot of us may need.
Lovox has mentioned on a couple of the first episodes, we have a lot of W's, but we also take L's. And I love like the Knuckleheads podcast with Darius Miles and Quentin Richardson, where they start off every show with who is the first person to bust your ass when you came to the league. So what has been the toughest L that you've taken since November in joining this space?
Besides selling my doodles way too early, besides not selling my mutant at 140 when I bought it for like in the 20s, I think it's just holding things way too long and not trying to realize some profits in the middle. Just in general, not about Akutar, not about anything else. There were just so many opportunities that I had that I could have at least taken out my cost basis and at least, freed up some liquidity to just have there, make things a little bit easier. I think the toughest part is, I wouldn't say believing in something because, this is not for this, but believing in the wrong projects and the wrong teams just because you saw the numbers going up. I was in Friends with You, no knock on them, but I was there and I had a couple clouds. They were valued at 5 ETH at one point. And I had like 2 or 3 of them and I held, and I don't think they're even worth 0.10 of an ETH right now. And it was tough because I could have sold many times. I could have sold, and some people were, and I was just, no, it's going to keep going up, this and that and the third. I was kind of making excuses for the team why things should be better. So I think that was the worst part, is just not being a little bit smarter, not realizing some type of profits, and just reduce my cost basis. And I think that's very important, especially if you're buying things on Nifty using credit cards.
It's easy to sit there, like, because a lot of times I would, justify it's like, well, if I buy this at this number, not only like can I, like, with the intention of flipping, like a week later, before my credit card cycle hits, but then I'm also getting all the points, like,
man, the points feel good, man. I became Mosaic on my cards because of that. I got a couple free flights for the card because of so much usage. So, those are the little benefits I tell my wife that I was able to bring to her for all my NFT purchases. So I have to justify why I put so much money on the cards. I was like, don't you like those even more legroom space? Yeah. Don't you like the free drinks on that plane? Oh, by the way, this is a cool shirt I got from Stirpan.
That's what that was.
Part of the Moon Gods.
I could. I mean, you know, it's kind of hard to tell. I was like, at first, I was like, is he a I thought it was like a firefighter thing or something.
No, I Stairpan hooked me up with a shirt
That's
and had to rock it. I got to support everybody in our Discord. I think, you know, we're an amazing, great group, you know, top to bottom. And you know, just sends you a shirt. I think he sends many shirts to everybody. You know, he just really, you know, just likes to hook people up. And man, this community is so amazing. I'll tell you right now, like I was in so many other Discords, and it was never like how it is in the Aqua Discord. You know, everybody really cares about it. Everybody's just trying to support. You know, nobody's just trying to one up somebody. Nobody's trying to like take advantage. You know, it's a great group, great set. And you know, for those who are not, you know, megas, or what is it, moon gods? Sorry, for those who are not moon gods, man, that moon god channel is amazing. You know, it's just all love there, it's all support. You know, I know that we go into the other channels too, and we chit chat and everything. But if you guys can, you know, try to get your 10 chapters and join us. You know, it's kind of fun. You know, all the things that Micah talks about, and you know how great we are as a collective group.
well. There's a lot of moon gods that, you know, haven't forgot the roots, is so to speak, like that are active in the other. I think there could be maybe some way of kind of organizing the Discord a little better. I can tell you, you know, like in some of the early Discords, like the first one that I was in was like NBA Top Shot, and from NBA Top Shot branched into a couple other like private Discords, and we would just sit there and talk about like, you know, how we would never go into Top Shot's general Discord. It just felt like going into like some seedy back alley place because it was just, you know, grimy in there. None of that is true at all with Aku.
Not at all.
But I feel like, especially in the Moon God, and I've said this before, like the real future advantage of being a Moon God is that it's like this elite mastermind, you know, that can only kind of keep going up because, you know, certainly as the prices go, you know, there are going to be people that are going to price themselves out and sell and, you know, relinquish that Moon God title. But then the people that are paying, especially when we saw some of those prices for just chapter 3, you know, that's an elite level. And one of the, you know, big reasons we're, you know, doing this podcast is to feature like it's you know, we're all cool in our own way. You guys are more cooler than I am, especially after saying that. But you know, man, there are some, like it's not like we're just, you know, bums off the street. Like everybody's got an elite story and is doing some real life work and hustle as well.
No, the Moon God channel is great. Everybody in there, you know, we got you know, entrepreneurs. We got people working, you know, like me, corporate America, just working for a bank and stuff like that. We got, you know, people doing big things out there. And it's just amazing core group. And we do spend a lot of time just, you know, with everybody. You know, we never had that mentality where like it's a Moon God channel or nothing. Like, you know, we're only going to chat here. We're never going to chat anywhere else. No, we really, you know, we made the journey with everybody else in all the other channels. Like, you know, there was different tiers as you collect 1 chapter, 2 chapter, 3 chapter, 4, you know, and so forth and so on. It allowed you to get into different, you know, groups and different channels in the Discord. So we're all part of that, and we support each other. You know, I bought maybe 5 scammed Akutars, you know, in the last, you know, 6 months, and I'm the first one out there reaching out to everybody. Hey, if this belongs to anybody, let me know. I got it. And I've returned, I think, probably 4 out of the 5 Akutars that I purchased. They was scammed from somebody. It's not right for me to, you know, benefit from somebody's, you know, mishap, you know, the unfortunate, you know, circumstance of, you know, clicking on a link that could have happened to me. And that's my mentality. Like, I would hate for that to be me and have my Akutar collection stolen from me, and then have the other person who got it not be able to work something out to give it back. And, you know, that's kind of one of the reasons why I, you know, right away sought out who is the owner for this. let me give this back. Let's work something out. This is what I pay for. Exactly what I pay for is yours. Take it back. So we all try to support each other. This is a movement, and it wouldn't be Aku. It wouldn't be Aku if I was just keeping these, scanned Akutars in my portfolio, displaying them when I know that somebody lost them and is probably looking at them right now.
Well, we're kind of hitting our time threshold that we want to kind of keep our episodes, because we certainly could keep going on for
here all day.
Well, I know you are. We're not getting off just yet. Now we're kind of entering like the fun part, the quick hitter portion of the show. So you've got roots in the Dominican, you're living in Florida, and you're from New York. What is the food like? Are you missing the Dominican food? Are you missing like the New York pizza? Because I'm just gonna put this out there. Unless you're living in like maybe Miami, Florida food, kind of, like Applebee's, Chili's, is that go to?
No, I definitely miss New York. When you go visit over there, just having all those amazing restaurants, at your doorstep almost, it's something that you can't get anywhere else. The level of food, it's amazing over there. But I married a Dominican wife. My wife is Dominican. I get mango, I get my rice and beans, I get all that jazz at home whenever I want. Whenever she decides to cook. Let me not put it out there like that. So Dominican food is never in short supply. I think right now she's actually buying or picking up some rabo, which is oxtail. Mm-hmm. So she's going to make that today for the football game. So I'm going to be eating very well, but my go-to food, besides, my mango is, and I think H-Man said it too, I'm just a big steak man. And I'm not super savvy on, I didn't go to a lot of very expensive restaurants because, they're expensive. But, for my birthday, my wife used to take me sometimes to Wolfgang's, and I thought that was pretty good. So I went to Wolfgang's, a couple of times. So I really enjoyed that. Get the porterhouse for two and get all the little side, asparagus, mashed potatoes, baked potatoes, just add more, more carbs in there. So I'm big into like a nice juicy steak. And, we used to work in Spanish Harlem together when we first met. So she used to take me to this place called Ricardo Steakhouse, which was like, whenever it was my birthday at the time, like way early in the relationship, that was just our tradition. We always celebrated it there for like 4 or 5 years in a row.
JwowLax, have you been to the DR? You've done that, right?
Yeah, I've been yes, sir.
Yeah,
you made it back, and you made it back. We're great. We're great. Oh yeah, nice. Punta Cana is amazing.
Yeah, it's good times.
Yeah.
So that leads me to like the travel question. So where are your Aku bag gets filled again, right? So we won't say you retired, but like you're semi-retired. What's a trip that you want to take, and try not to be like, like if you haven't seen the Eiffel Tower, or Big Ben clock or something, like I get that, but and if it's a big bucket list, I get that, but like a random place though that most people would not think of going, that you for yourself just have to see before you kind of die.
Well, I haven't been many places, unfortunately. I'm Dominican, so I spend a lot of time in the Caribbeans, and I do a lot of cruises. Like I'm a big cruiser, which is why I moved to Florida. I think I've been on like 20 cruises. Oh, wow. And my son is only 7. I think he's been on like 16 of them. So we've been going all the time. We got one next month. So I'm not gonna say cruise because there's nothing crazy that will be a bucket list worthy. But look, I've never really been to the other side of the world. So I haven't gone to Europe, and I don't want to just go to, let's say, to Italy, or let's say go to France and do the Eiffel Tower. I want to backpack. I want to like view a lot of things in a short period of time, like a couple of weeks. I want to take what I think is easy to commute from via train to different countries and stuff like that. Is the countries. So I want to go, like, I want to see Sicily. I want to go to Rome. I want to go to Venice. I want to go to Italy. I want to go to where all the amazing chocolate, Switzerland.
Yep.
I want to go to Switzerland. You know, I want to do a lot of those things over there. I've never gone, and you know, I know that there's cruises that go over there, but I want to spend more than just 2 hours at each port. So that's something I want to do. Thailand has been on my mind for a long time. It's just tough because you know I got a 7-year-old, and to go to Thailand you need like 2 weeks.
Sure.
Because you know just the time.
You'll need 2 weeks in Europe for all the eating that you've just mentioned. So
yeah, so I think Thailand would be cool. My wife and I had a like little not bucket list, but an idea, like an itinerary. We wanted to go to Phuket, go to Bangkok, and go to, I forgot, somewhere else. Phuket, Bangkok. It was just, which is the big party one? I forgot where it was.
Bangkok is the crazy one. That's like from The Hangover.
Yeah. So Bangkok, Phuket, and I think somewhere where you see all those images of these big mountains in the middle of the ocean, covered in like grass or trees or whatever, just beautiful and amazing.
Yeah, well, the Tahitis and the Fijis and the Philippines. You know, there's like 1,500 islands or 1,600 islands in the Philippines. So keep finding new ones.
Yeah.
So I think
Bora Bora too. Bora Bora.
Yes.
A little too pricey for me. So I was thinking Maldives. Maldives a little bit, a little bit cheaper.
That's my spot. So Maldives like is literally on the other side of the world for me. Like I live in Los Angeles. I think if you actually do the pin, it's actually closer to Madagascar. But either way, the Indian Ocean. And then the Maldives has the famous glowing beaches. So if you Google glowing beaches of Maldives, it's like the dinoflagellates, the plankton or whatever that glow in the dark. But that's like at least the pictures make it look like the best beach ever. With that said, if you're a big fan of cruises, there was an announcement this year that I believe in 2023 they're going to do like this year, like it's like around the world cruise.
Heard of that.
And if you actually figured out the money, like for a single person, like it would only cost me $65,000 for like 9 months. So if you actually kind of do the math, it's like that's not that, your meals are included and everything, and it goes to literally around the world until you can hit everything. Probably not good with a 7-year-old.
Yeah, it might be tough. I love cruises so much. I thought about maybe I should work on one of these days, and just do that. But I think their contracts are like 6 months at a time that you got to stay on the ship. I have heard about that cruise, and it's a good idea. If and when I'm retired and Ethan's a little older, something I could entertain in the future.
Yeah.
But there are people who live on the cruise ship. I read about it all the time. Now, I don't know how much it is per year, but they literally sell their home, sell everything, and live on cruises. And if they want family members to visit, they either have to meet up at a port and hang out there for a little bit, or jump on the cruise with them.
Yeah.
But surprisingly, people do live on a cruise ship. And a lot of people don't know that because everybody thinks that like a cruise ship is like swaying back and forth, like these small little canoes all the time, and people get nauseous all the time. So I think people have a misconception of what it's like to be on a big ship out in the ocean.
Yeah. Well, Loveox, what do you have to kind of wrap us up for today?
Yeah, Ams, first of all, thank you for your time. Your energy is very much appreciated and definitely one of the broader lights we've had thus far, and that's seen and very much welcomed. I guess my final question is I have my Aku, not my Aku, I have my Mega OG helmet on, and now I've transported myself to August 16th, 2025. In your eyes, where are we? What are we doing? What does it look like? What does Aku, what do the Megas, what do we look like 3 years from now? That's my final question.
Man, we're gonna be everywhere. I'm talking about like you're gonna see Aku just on the billboards, whether it be TV shows, whether it be movies. We have so many great partnerships. The message is so great. We're out there with the biggest and best companies. It's just hard to kind of like wrap my head around as to how far we can go because it could be limitless. But I do picture it in a few years, Aku's just going to be like a household name. You know, our kids are probably going to be putting on YouTube Kids and just kind of see little, 5-minute videos about Aku or a little mini series about Aku. There's probably going to be a movie by that time in the works, and we're going to be lining up. Hopefully Moon Gods get to go on the red carpet, and we're just walking, strutting in there with Micah and everybody, which that's something I've been thinking about. And I think I told Micah that I was like, when we come up in the big screen, we better all get invited. Moon Gods better all get invited to that red carpet. I do picture big influencers and big athletes and well-known people like Pharrell, like Pusha, like Jay-Z, like everybody literally kind of show the support. I'm pretty sure they're supporting already in the background, but like really show it. Like start hanging out with their Aku shirts, posting about their Aku tour, just talking about the message. And especially for LeBron. LeBron has the dream school. It feels like it almost kind of like it's perfect, like a match made in heaven. I could see Aku tours just posted up on all their walls. Maybe that could be the school mascot.
I've been a big fan of LeBron since he first started. I actually, in my former life, was a sportscaster, and I interviewed him after his first NBA preseason game as a rookie, and I was just like, man, he's my guy. I say all that to preface, if for whatever reason his career ended this year for some reason, and he goes into that next chapter and could be like really, I feel like basketball's holding him back from Aku. like go ahead and retire and just do Aku full time for us. Come on, jump on into it. I mean, he's got plenty of stuff going on.
Yeah, no, he's involved in a lot of things. I think that's one of the reasons why he took the contract over there in LA. Just to kind of be out there in that industry. And he has like his tequila brand, Lobos, he has podcasts, obviously his kids are amazing athletes as well. And he's just so involved. He has his school. I used to be a LeBron hater, unfortunately. Especially, I liked him at the beginning, but then when they kind of got that dream, not that dream team, but I feel like they were kind of cheating by getting all these amazing athletes put together with Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, and him. And I feel like that was cheating, and that he was cheating to get all these championships. But then when I saw him leave and go to Cleveland and then win a championship over there in Cleveland, which nobody thought that Cleveland had a chance, then I started giving him a little bit more of his respect. But obviously, he's an amazing person, amazing individual, and I don't think there's ever been anything in the news scandal-wise outside of potentially his hairline just growing back amazingly, and he's looking like he wasn't going bald earlier. Talk to me, hook me up. I need to look like H-Man and like JWoww next episode.
Well, Lovox is a huge fan of LeBron's hairline. He's LeBron's probably like his biggest hero. I got that right, Lovox, right? He's the GOAT because LeBron's the GOAT.
So I'm going to use as tactful terms as possible. I am not Team LeBron. It's Michael Jordan all the way. Michael Jordan is and will be the greatest athlete of all time. And I'm not going to get into it. I am not a LeBron guy. I respect those that are. Do I respect those? No, I don't even respect people that are LeBron guys either. Actually, so that's all I have to say about that, Mr. JWoww.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how this season goes. So we want to get you out on this, building this community and profiling. It's not just who we want to talk to, it's who you want to hear from. And you're a big part of this community. So I ask you, Am, who is the moon god that you want to hear from? And of course, the caveat is you have to help us get them on.
Yeah, there's a couple moon gods that would love to get on, but I don't think I have the juice to be able to get to them. Like, obviously, Upscale is a moon god, which maybe I can try with Block, kind of making that happen. So I might pick him, to be honest with you. We got Pusha, who I believe is a moon god. I think Turner, the baseball player, might be a moon god. So if I'm trying to pick at the not lowest hanging fruit, but somebody who I can get to, I would probably have to pick Darth Vader. Darth, he was the one who gave me all that great advice. So I would put him as my plan B, but my plan A would be to try to get Upscale. now that I got a little connect, I'm gonna put my hat on.
Yeah.
I'll put my hat on again to try to see if I can sway him to join. But I'm gonna hit a block today, and well, if not today, when this airs, so I can tag him in it and be like, "We need you guys on this." I was like, "I'm
Love
talking
it.
a big game, so I'm gonna try to get upscale for you guys. I'm gonna put all my juices, all my effort, all my Moon God times 2 power to get upscale to be a member of the next podcast." So that's who I'm nominating.
I mean, if you're wearing a hat with a plug on it, like you got to represent, right?
Yeah, you know. So that's who I'm picking.
That's great. I wish I could be like, well, guess what? We've got next guest. No, but we're gonna need your help. This has been great. Lovox, closing thoughts.
I think we nailed everything. Again, much appreciation to you, sir, and thank you for your time.
I just hope that you guys invite me when Aku, has my bags filled again. And we can have a "Where Are They Now" episode. So we know where I was today when the floor is at 0.4449 or something like that. And then I hope that when we have the next one and we're like, "Where are they now?" And then I'm taking this call from my 9-month cruise.
That would be awesome. Much better than like a behind the music, like, Motley Crue type story. They were on top of the world and now they're in the gutter.
Yep, we're gonna do a reverse of that. So I'm putting my name in the ring. So whenever our floors are, at a nice little significant level, I want to come back and I want to show you guys how my life has changed. Hopefully, I'll have my house back by then.
Yeah, that's great. Well, that's been another one in the bag for To the Moon God Pod. I am JwowLax. I've got Lovox on my side. I want to thank Am, great guest, and building that collection out, making everyone envious. Of course, like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. We love the support, and the more people that can kind of see the ideas of Aku and learn more about this community, the better. Like we touched on today, this is more than just a project or even just art. This is a movement. So just want to say big thanks. And always, thanks to Micah. I haven't given him enough credit. He's the creator, the founder. Thanks, Micah, for all that you've done. We wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be connected. And that's one of the best gifts that we've had is the relationships. And hopefully we can shed even more light as we continue to grow. Don't forget, every Monday and Thursday, we will be bringing you a new episode. To the Moon God Pod, we'll see you next time.